And welcome back to Capitol Tonight. The images over the past several days have left a lot of people stunned. The entire villages have been washed away by flash floods, hundreds evacuated to higher ground just moments before their homes were engulfed in rushing water. Those who have seen these images on TV and were lucky enough to actually escape Irene's wrath might be asking now what they can do to help. It turns out you can actually do a lot. The Red Cross is badly in need of volunteers, resources, and, of course, blood. Joining me now is the head of the Volunteer Division of the Red Cross of Northeastern New York. He is Skip Zimmerman. Skip, thank you very much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
Let's just talk first about the scope of this. It's actually quite large.
This is unprecedented. We have never dealt with a disaster of this scope before in this area, and so we're calling in a lot of resources from all over the country and all over the region to help out.
You know, it's hard. I think a lot of people, as I mentioned, have seen the images, they've read the newspaper, they've seen the video, but it's really hard to experience this if you're not experiencing it personally, other than, oh, I have to take a detour around a closed road. You've seen some of it up close and personal. It really is devastating.
There's a lot of suffering. That's right. People's lives get completely shifted when something like this happens, and quite frankly, even the people who are the most well adjusted don't know what to do, and that's where sometimes the Red Cross and other agencies can come in to help out as they work on their recovery, as they figure out what their next steps are.
That's actually the long part, right? I mean, the immediate part is preventing death, which we actually did fairly well at. We had about 26, or maybe it might now be up to 27 deaths from this storm, and they were obviously tragic, but it could have been significantly worse.
It certainly could have been. But the emergency management folks, the officials from the state and from the counties, all did such a great job that now at this point we're into some relief for those who have lost property. But thank goodness we didn't lose a lot of lives. You're right.
Before we get into what you guys need, just explain for viewers, as a little bit of a refresher, what it is that the Red Cross does and what it is, actually.
Well, there are a lot of different things that the Red Cross does, but in a time like this, our primary mission is around disaster relief, and that really is helping folks with the disaster-caused emergency needs that they have. So that is really housing, food, shelter, clothing, and helping them with their emotional support. So if they're experiencing some sort of mental health issue or some sort of reaction to the disaster, we can help them through that as well.
And it's a non-profit organization?
Oh, certainly, absolutely.
Right,
absolutely.
And it's national and international, actually.
It is definitely international. We're in almost every country in the world. We're the Red Cross, we're the Red Crescent, we're the Magen David Adom, we're in a variety of different organizations, but we're all the Red Cross.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is a reputable, established organization, not a fly-by-night. So when I'm asking you to volunteer time, I'm not saying go out and just sort of like sign up randomly. All right, so what is it that you guys need?
Well, right now, to be quite frank with you, the needs shift almost momentarily, moment to moment. We don't know exactly how many people we need, when or where or doing what, but I can describe what people might be doing, and I can tell you that what we need, quite frankly, are people who are flexible enough to just come and say, I want to help, and go wherever we need them to go in that moment.
So not people who are restricted by a lot of scheduling issues.
Right, well, schedules or even geographically. We'd like to be able to move people around pretty fluidly around the area. One day they might be doing bulk distribution of recovery items like cleanup kits. Another day they might be helping out in a shelter. Another day they might be helping out answering phones at the headquarters office.
And what's in a cleanup kit?
Cleanup kits, heavy-duty sponges, bleach, mops, the things that people are going to need to help them get through and clean up after a flood, especially. You know, we have to deal with things like mildew and mold and some health issues that come from water standing or flowing through someone's home.
Right, right. Do you need those things donated as well?
No, we have those. What we need donated is money so that we can purchase more of those and have them set up so that we're providing the same level of service to everybody.
Okay. So what you're doing is also running some boot camps, basically, some basic training, rapid training. You've got one tomorrow that's closed. You've also got another on Thursday in Poughkeepsie, and next Tuesday in Poughkeepsie as well. Is that correct?
And one Thursday here in Albany as well.
You do?
Yep.
Okay. So what do these entail, effectively?
It's really about 4 hours, and it is a basic orientation to the Red Cross, and then it's a basic orientation to what a disaster response looks like. So it really just gives people a very, very simple idea of what they might be doing when they join us, and then we'll put them to work right away.
And there are some restrictions, actually. You should be able-bodied, for example.
We want people to be 18 years of age. We want them to be able to lift 35 pounds. We'd like them to be able to submit to a background check, because, of course, we want to be able to trust the people that we're putting in touch with vulnerable
Is that mandatory and required by law? It is. Okay.
Well, not by law. It's required by our practice.
Okay.
Yep. And we want people to be able to be mobile, so they need a driver's license.
And they need to be able to provide their own transportation, or is
well,
that
it's
something you can
helpful,
do?
certainly. We can't necessarily go pick them up and bring them to a location, but you know, if they can make their way to our headquarters, we can probably get them where they need to go from there.
And most people know you guys because you do blood drives, obviously.
We do.
The problem here, I imagine, is that summer is a shortage, is a traditional time where you're short on blood. Do you actually need it in this instance, because you don't have a lot of?
Well, we do. We are always short during the summer because people are on vacations, and it's just not a time when people are thinking about blood. So we run a lot more blood drives during the summer, but this summer, because of the disaster, we've had to cancel a lot. So there is a significant blood shortage across the entire eastern seaboard. So that's another place where we need people to step up and come in and bring they can give blood, they can give their time, and certainly if they have a financial donation, we'd appreciate that as well.
Okay, so give some information about where people can avail themselves of this information, just in case they're not taking notes at this moment.
The best place to go is to our website, and that is redcrossneny.org.
Do you imagine that this is going to be a long-term sort of recovery?
Yeah, unfortunately, because of the level of damage, you know, we're still sheltering people out in the Midwest after flooding there this past spring. This could be a long-term effort here as well, especially in the hardest hit areas.
And where do you have people right now?
They are in schools, they're in churches, they're in firehouses. Some of them are in shelters that are being operated by the communities that they live in. Others are being operated by the Red Cross. Others still are partnerships between the Red Cross and other organizations. There are about 34 or 35 shelters open right now in our region, stretching from Poughkeepsie up to Plattsburgh.
But this is not a long-term solution, obviously, right?
Well, our goal is to give them what they need, give our clients and the victims of disaster what they need right after a disaster, and then to transition them into recovery as quickly as possible.
Which would be with the assistance of FEMA, with the assistance of other government agencies.
Exactly.
Okay. So I would urge you to avail yourself of this information, to please give of yourself if you have the opportunity. I want to thank you for being here. Skip, it's been good to see you, and good luck with everything.
Thanks for the opportunity.